was played by Christopher Allport. Born on June 17, 1947, in Boston, Massachusetts, Allport was about 42 years old when he appeared, and he used that confident, polished energy to embody the kind of prosecutor who can smile in public while tightening the screws in private. The series often showed that justice in a small southern town is not only about evidence, it is also about power, reputation, and who can control the narrative before the truth even reaches a courtroom. Dutton fit that theme perfectly because his presence made every major case feel bigger than the precinct. Suddenly, it was not only Chief William O. Gillespie and his detectives against crime, but against optics, ambition, and the machinery of the system. Allport was the type of actor television leaned on for roles that required intelligence with an edge, and he built a steady career across film and series work, often playing professionals whose calm surface hid urgency underneath. What makes his story especially haunting is how abruptly it ended. Christopher Allport died on January 25th, 2008, at 60, after a skiing accident, cutting short a career that still had momentum, and leaving fans with the shock of a life ended in a single, unexpected moment. Officer Charles Ryan, a grounded lawman who added day-to-day realism to In the Heat of the Night, was portrayed by Andy Romano. Born on June 29, 1935, in New York City, Romano was about 54 years old when he took on the role, and he brought the kind of believable, working cop energy that makes a police drama feel lived in instead of staged. The show is remembered for its big moral conflicts and emotionally heavy cases, but characters like Ryan mattered because they represented the backbone of a department. The officers who do not always get the spotlight, yet keep the system moving through routine calls, tense nights, and the quiet grind that wears people down. Romano's screen style was never flashy, which is exactly why it worked. He played competence, fatigue, and loyalty in a way that felt like real public service, rather than television heroics. Outside of this series, Romano built a long career across film and television, frequently cast as authority figures because he could project firmness without turning cold, and credibility without needing speeches. He was part of that generation of character actors who made ensemble dramas stronger by making every scene feel like it belonged to a real world. Andy Romano passed away on September 12, 2022, at 86, leaving behind a legacy defined by consistency, professionalism, and the kind of understated performances that audiences trust even when they do not realize why. Danny Roy Eversole, the larger-than-life local figure whose presence could instantly shift an episode of In the Heat of the Night from routine police work into pure southern pressure, was portrayed by Pat Hingle. Born on July 19, 1924, in Miami, Florida, Hingle was about 69 years old when he appeared, and he used that seasoned authority to play a man who feels woven into the town's history. Characters like Danny Roy matter in this series because crime in Sparta is rarely just about one suspect. It is about families, reputations, old favors, and the unspoken rules that decide who gets protected and who gets blamed. Hingle delivered that tension with a voice that sounded like it had been arguing in back rooms for decades, making even small lines feel loaded with threat or persuasion. Long before this role, he built a heavyweight career across film, television, and theater, often cast as judges, commanders, or power brokers, because he could project control without shouting. Many audiences also recognized him as Commissioner James Gordon in the Batman films of the late 1980s and 1990s, where he played moral steadiness in a chaotic world. That same quality made him perfect for In the Heat of the Night. He could be charming, intimidating, or heartbreakingly human within the same scene. Pat Hingle passed away on January 3rd, 2009, at 84, leaving behind the legacy of a classic American character actor whose presence made every story feel more real. texture to the community side of In the Heat of the Night was portrayed by Franklin Cover. Born on November 20th, 1923, in New York City, Cover was about 63 years old when he appeared, and he brought a familiar lived-in warmth that fit the show's small-town atmosphere. While the series is driven by Chief William O. Gillespie and the detectives, it stays believable because it keeps returning to ordinary citizens who live under the weight of every headline and every siren. Tommy Vincent represents that world, the neighbor you might trust, the man with stories, the local presence who reminds viewers that policing is not happening in a vacuum. Cover was especially skilled at making supporting roles feel complete, like the character had a full life before the camera arrived. Beyond In the Heat of the Night, he was widely known to television audiences as Mr. Lubbock on The Jeffersons, a role that made him recognizable for years and proved his strength in both comedy and drama. His career stretched across decades, with steady work that depended on reliability, clarity, and a human touch rather than flashy stardom. Franklin Cover passed away on February 5th, 2006, at 82, remembered as a performer who could quietly elevate a scene simply by feeling like someone you might actually meet. Cheese Collins, a memorable presence who brought a different flavor to In the Heat of the Night, was portrayed by Bobby Short. Born on September 15, 1924, in Danville, Illinois, Short was about 67 years old when he appeared.
What are you talking about, boy?
And his unique charisma came from a lifetime of real artistry, rather than typical acting polish. In a show filled with uniforms, interrogation rooms, and courthouse tension, characters like Cheese Collins stand out because they represent the town's rhythm outside the police station. It's nightlife, it's culture, it's private conversations, where secrets travel faster than official reports.
You get
Short
this.
had the rare ability to suggest
That
a
makes
whole
$20
world
million
with
a
a glance
second.
or a pause,
If you
which
get
made
it
him
in
perfect
second place,
for a
you
series
get
built
this
on
for
mood and
vodka.
nuance.
If you get
Off-screen,
in third,
Bobby Short
or
was not only an actor, but a
you get
celebrated
third
cabaret
place,
singer and pianist,
you get
famously
no.
associated
If you
with the
get first,
sophisticated
you
New
get
York
this.
City nightclub
If you get
scene,
third, you get the
where
La
his style and
Salida. You
storytelling
get third,
turned
you get
music into a kind of intimate theater.
the vodka.
That background gave him an effortless command
that's-
of timing.
This
He
is my
understood how to
username.
hold attention without forcing it. When he stepped into a dramatic series,
Title
he
of this
carried that
video is
same
going to be my
control,
username.
making his scenes feel like they had their own heartbeat. Bobby Short passed
Bye
away
guys.
on March